Hello and welcome to another episode of the FPL Hangover podcast, where we raise the bar and lower the tone, all things FPL related. We are coming to you on the 5th of September. Game week 6 is done, and after 3 quick game weeks, FPL managers can now take a well-earned, deep breath and enjoy the return of European football and sit back and digest all the wacky antics that was Game Week 6 in the FPL season so far. And here to help me do such things is my podcast partner in crime, Seamus. How are you getting on, my friend?
Yeah, very good. All things considered.
All things considered, yeah. I mean, I didn't want to go straight for the jugular, but I will start off the show by asking you, how dare you? How dare you show up here this week? What gives you the right to I can't keep a straight face. I feel bad. I feel it's gotten so bad now. It's that Simpsons meme. He's already
Yeah,
dead.
this is a Make-A-Wish Foundation type of dream of mine. You've facilitated my dream of appearing on an FPL podcast despite my horrendous FPL ability and rank. So thank you for that. You know.
We're like all the other podcasts now.
Yeah, exactly.
One absolute joker.
Yeah, but I think I can justify. Well, first of all, how dare I? I was invited this week.
You're
And
invited
then
every week.
Paddy, yeah, I'm invited every week, but I can't always make it. Paddy ended up not being able to make it anyway, so it just saved it being a one-man pod, I guess. And yeah, I have, I pulled my wild card. Spoiler alert. So yeah, I think that makes for somewhat interesting listening. And
Yeah, it
God
is.
knows I needed to play my wild card. So
You bloody well did, and I'm happy to catch up to you because we haven't actually talked FPL in it feels like an eternity. But when those midweek games are kicking in, it's just like boom, 3 game weeks. What?
mhm.
But yeah, no, we haven't got a chat in a while, but we do have a pretty packed show lined up. We're going to do our usual talking points. We're going to do some team reviews. We're going to look at the mini league. We're going to look at your wildcard, Seamus, and any moves that we're thinking of next week, such as captains. We're going to touch on some puck fadas. And yeah, if you like what you hear, hit the subscribe button, share with all your friends, all that usual shit. Mini league codes on the screen. Just getting it in for all the people that just, give us 10, 15 minutes at a time and zoom off. That's my new plan. Get it in early. Get to sell in hard.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I guess we shall go straight into this week's talking points. So I mean, this has kind of been a talking point for a while now. But return of the forward, and I feel like I'm talking to no better man here because you set out your stall at the start of this season with your back very much turned against any FPL forwards. Now, obviously, you're forced to have one, but
Mhm.
you went big at the back, and you also kind of went chunky midfield. You were like one playing striker, and it seemed, and you're not the only one. Based on last year's forwards returns, it's not a surprise that people would kind of look elsewhere for points. But I mean, I'm not exaggerating when I say that the forward position is kind of killing it this year so far. Am I?
Oh yeah, absolutely, and that's part of the reason I'm having such a stinker of a start. Now, it would be one thing if the forwards were doing well and the defenses were doing well, but
Yeah,
they're not.
they're so not.
Yeah, because think about how good. Okay, how many points does someone like Mitrovic have? Like he's got 6 goals. He's got 39 points from 6 games. He's averaging 6 points a game, just over 6.5 points a game. You can't tell me that like Trent couldn't have been averaging that if Liverpool were actually keeping some clean sheets. He's got a 17 pointer there in the middle of his scores. But
maybe
what's been
maybe
killing
if
it
you're
is they're not keeping clean sheets. So yeah,
and
if
when they do keep clean sheets, they're hooked off in 58 fucking minutes.
yeah, I know. Yeah, that was I like my that was my double Liverpool defense this week, killing me. And no, but not only that, but like the likes of even Man City, just I don't know if we can discuss the reasons why later, but I mean I think it might have a bit more to do with this kind of let it flow attitude that refs are kind of playing. There's less kind of small niggly fouls being given and stuff like that. So maybe it's causing that. But maybe in Man City's case, it's they're just trying to play this new style so much that and they're getting those like Walker and Cancelo to kind of be kind of closer in the middle of the field that they haven't got it down yet. and just even on the break, and they're kind of like, well, until we get it down, we'll just get Erling Haaland to score more goals than we concede, and maybe
Yeah,
it'll settle down by the
or
time it's
maybe
sold for Walker.
yeah, or maybe everyone, all the forwards have just been inspired by Haaland, as you mentioned, and just everyone's upping their game that a little bit. They're thinking like, if fuck it, if he's the new number 9, the new generational talent, then why can't I notch a bit?
Yeah,
But I mean,
that was it. The
sorry.
forwards you were saying, and I started talking about defense, so that was my bad. Yeah, they are killing it. Like Mitrovic, Tony with a hat trick this weekend. Jesus has had a spectacular like game week or two, and of course
He's an
Haaland.
interesting one. He's an interesting one because when I was writing down the forwards, I mean, like you mentioned Mitrovic, we talked about Haaland, Kane's actually killing it so far this year as well. Tony, tipping away, and then I got to Jesus, and we both have him. He's your pre wildcard. He was your replacement for Haaland, as crazy as that might sound. But he's the one that everyone was kind of talking about. Really nice price point. Arsenal are playing some decent football, and he's playing some decent football. But returns, they're not what's he? He had that big. 19 pointer in game week 2. Yeah, he had the massive haul in game week 2, but one goal outside of that game week, one assist in game week 3. So he's one goal and one assist outside of that huge game week 2. Arsenal's fixtures: Everton home, Brentford away, and then they get tough. I mean, Spurs, Liverpool, Leeds, fair enough, but Spurs, Liverpool, and City in between game week 9 and game week 12 for Arsenal.
Yeah, that's a bit of a worry because, like I said, I thought at the start of the season I went without Jesus because I thought Crystal Palace and Leicester were kind of tough games. Now, look, Leicester are actually just bad, just plain bad this year. So he got that 2 goals, 2 assists, and he was so highly owned. Like he's still 77.8% owned. It's crazy. So you'll see people selling because they're not going to be satisfied with 1 goal, 1 assist in 4 games. Especially when they played Bournemouth, Fulham, and a useless Aston Villa side. Man United, that could always be a tough one, regardless of how poorly United start the season, and it was. But like three yellow cards is kind of pissing people off because there's a couple of ones in there too,
Yeah.
So I do think Arsenal look much better with him in the team. Even
Is he expendable?
I think he actually might be. At the start of the season, his ownership was so high with the 77% that I decided, okay, I'm getting him in. I was kind of planning on getting him in anyway if he started well, and he did start well, so I got him in. And he has looked good, and he has been a bit unlucky in some of those games. I think he's had a disallowed goal in one of those games. I can't remember which, possibly Fulham or Bournemouth, I think it was. He could fill his boots against Everton, and then the conversation changes, okay? Because Everton, well, actually, you know what? I was going to lay into Everton, but Frank Lampard kind of has them defensively looking okay, not too bad. So maybe he doesn't. But if he gets 2 goals against Everton, conversation is, oh, got to have him,
Yeah. I mean,
But
Arsenal are going to be coming out of the gates hot there. You'd imagine after the loss on Monday night or on Sunday evening, and Everton's is a perfect fixture for that kind of remedy. So I'm expecting goals in that. I mean, I'm with you. Everton have they're not as leaky as they were last year, but I still fancy Arsenal for a couple of goals. And you're right, if Jesus bangs in 1 or 2, then everyone shuts up for a while, don't they?
yeah, I wasn't confident of Lampard's ability to get that Everton team playing the way that they need to be playing, but kind of seem to be wrong about that. They kind of seem to be tougher. Right? They got to roll their luck a bit against Liverpool, but they did make it tough for them. And what's that? 4 draws in a row now.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to do the same against Arsenal. And look, maybe it doesn't happen. Maybe an early goal goes in and floodgates open, ends up 3-0, or maybe it does end up like 1-0 Arsenal or 1-0, 1-all or something like that. Who knows? But he's not the only forward. I mean, like certain Ivan Toney banged in a hat trick this week, a spectacular hat trick, and yeah, that's where it is. Like I pulled up on the transfer list there today. Just all players sort by goals scored, and like you've got like lots of players on 4 more goals, like McAllister, Zaha, Rodrigo, like cheap players with 4 goals in 6 games. Obviously, Haaland is miles out in front with 10. You got Mitrovic with 6, Tony and Kane with 5, and then you've got like these other. But other than those, like the other forwards aren't killing it. Jesus got his 3 goals and his 3 assists as well. But like the rest are kind of not a whole lot there. Like 2 goals for Wilson, 2 for Alvarez. That came in one game. 2 for Mbuemo, 3 for Firmino. We're not going to get Firmino, are we? So there's still only a small handful of forwards, but there are forwards that
Yeah.
have good fixtures kind of coming up to a degree anyway. So
Mm,
yeah.
you mentioned Tony, and obviously without going into spoiler territory, it's hard to avoid. Like, is he in your wildcard team? Like, is
He's not as it stands, actually. No. But I haven't. I've only kind of done a provisional, quick team. He might end up being in there though, because like looking at his fixtures, they're class. At the minute, I still have Jesus in my team. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep him.
yeah.
But I could, yeah, I could bin him. It's a hard one. I've Haaland in there and Jesus at the minute, which is the kind of default template one. So yeah, I had to basically do some surgery in my team because I was so heavily invested in the back, and I was trying to stubbornly remain loyal to it because I was like, this will come around. It's not coming around now. And how far back am I going to fall before it comes around? And then, yeah, I'm still going to keep big at the back, but I'm only going to keep 3, and then I'm going to go too cheap.
I get you.
Reinvest.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess if it's not Tony and you've gone with strikers, you've got Mitrovic in.
Nope.
No,
I just called out my
okay.
strikers.
I didn't
Jesus,
listen.
Jesus and Haaland.
Oh, you've just stuck up with just the classic too.
Yeah, but as I said, Haaland is obviously going to be in there, but and that's going to be a lock. But the because I've messed around with that position a bit much. Like I can't believe like I
You've
had
transferred
Haaland,
out.
had Haaland.
No.
Game
First, you didn't have Haaland.
I didn't have
If you
Haaland.
remember,
Got him in.
yeah.
Game week 2,
Minus
game week
forward
3.
him in.
Yeah,
Forward him in.
I minus forward him in, captain 2 weeks in a row, and then I started getting smart, and I was like, no, you know what? If I just got done my original plan, instead of going for the -4 for Haaland, I went for De Bruyne. Should have trusted my gut and gone for De Bruyne. So I said, you know what? I have 2 free transfers. I'll take out Haaland because I think De Bruyne can match him. Take out Haaland for De Bruyne, and that will allow me to. I'll have Saka. No, what did I have? I'd have Jesus and De Bruyne instead of Saka and Haaland. And in actual fact, so Haaland has scored 7 goals since then. Saka's got a goal and an assist, and I've got 1 goal from Jesus.
And even your transfer this week, I believe, got a goal.
My second best player on the on my team this week was my new transfer in Joe Willock, because I thought
Yeah.
I didn't know what I wanted to do this week, but unless I wanted to take out Robertson, which I was thinking of doing because I thought he might start, but I said, fuck it, I'll roll the dice again. Because it's a derby, and I thought, this isn't the sort of game that they probably want Robertson's tenacity in this game. I thought it would suit it well, but no, not Klopp. He took him out. Anyway, I didn't make the move, so I only had 4.9 to spend. So I said, out you come, Bailey. I was shocked, actually, to see he had dropped so much in price. He was down to 4.7.
Yeah.
I was like, how has he dropped 0.3 in these few weeks? And sure, of course, what does he do? He scored. I wasn't surprised at all to see he knocked out my clean sheet for my 2 City defenders. So
Took out your 2 fucking. I mean, I obviously was loving that, but I have your team up on the screen for any of those YouTubers, and if you wouldn't mind calling it out for the audio listeners, Seamus.
my game week 6 team or my wildcard team?
No, your game week 16.
My game week 16. Well, I'll start off with my captain because it's the only place I got points this week. So I actually made the right captain choice. That was De Bruyne with 7 points in the middle. And then around him, it's a load of dross. It's not a bad team on paper. The usual excuse: Salah, Martinelli. I had Willock in there just for Newcastle's game. I have Jesus up front, and then I have Walker, Cancelo, James, Arnold, Robertson, and I had Lloris in goals, who looked like he was on for a clean sheet until Mitrovic went off and did his thing and bust my clean sheet. So yeah, 1 return, 32 points, game week rank of 9.2 million, knocking me into 5 million overall rank.
Ooh, fucking hell!
The worst
Hence
start by like what's longer than a country mile? An international mile.
Two countries miles.
Yeah. By a long distance. I mean, I think my worst start by at any stage was it might be around the 1 million mark or something like that.
I'm pretty sure you've had your quote unquote worst start in the last 4 years a couple of times since we started recording the show, but this one definitely takes the
this
biscuit.
one definitely. I mean, I've had bad starts, that have been worse, some seasons, and then turn around pretty quick because it's not that bad. You're like, oh God, I'm down at 800k. How do I? But then like one good week you're up to 200k, and then the week again you're up into the top 100k. So it's volatile at the start. So yeah, I'm
And
surprisingly
it's
relaxed about it. Very
no, and
relaxed
you're
about it.
that's your fucking that's your you know not expertise when you're in a game when you're in it for ages. You've seen this shit happen before. You even said yourself how volatile stuff is. Like there's like even at 5 million, you could be inside the top million in 3 game weeks if things go your way. Easily in 3 game weeks if things go your way. Do you
Yeah, but I'm
know?
getting in my own way. This is the thing, like making
Creating your own
moves. The
hurdles.
part of how I wanted to play this season, I'm trying, kind of actually playing differently to how I normally play this season because I want to try something different. And if it goes up in flames, it goes up in flames, and that's kind of what's happening. Okay, but I'll learn from it if it does. But I don't want to just abandon my convictions and go, all right, I'm out of this, and then all of a sudden, all these players I just transfer out are kind of like the defenders, the big of the back guys. I don't want to just kind of get rid of everyone. No, look, I have to get rid of Robertson. Liverpool are just not keeping clean sheets, so I can't be double invested there. Walker now has a knock. Had to get rid of him. Yeah, so it's time to reinvest that into the forwards because, like you said, the forwards are scoring. And yeah, I'm kind of thinking. Yeah, as I say this, I'm like, I'm going to just try and play simple, but I kind of want to have fun, which is why I did the Haaland to KDB hokey cokey. It's just the variance in that. Like, I did not think, just didn't think he'd start 3 games in a row.
Yeah,
Absolutely not
and
start.
score 6 goals in 2 games.
I
You're
could,
like,
I could, I could
fuck.
take that. I took transfer him out and he scored a hat trick. I was like, that's a bad decision. It was like, but he won't play the next game. I captain KDB. He's going to be rested for this midweek game. Surely, he starts. KDB is fucking rested and comes on off the bench to get like 1 point. So screwing me with the captains, and then it was like, okay, well, like he's not going to play this weekend. Of course he does, and he's playing like minimum 70 minutes. He played 90 minutes the weekend. I thought I thought he was like going to be managed. Made sure like they're going to rest players, but no, it's just like saying, no, go on there now and run free and play to your heart's content. So I'm going to get him in now, and he's going to be dropped next week.
You got pepped. You got pepped. Yeah, he's going to play the Champions League now this week, and yeah, he'll just get
That's what
rested
I
at the
mean. Like
weekend.
pep roulette. Like you know, apparently Haaland's not stepped of that. So of the 6 game weeks that he's been in there so far, I've had him for 2 of those, and I've had 1 goal, 1 assist out of his like 10 goals.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I mean, like as one of my rivals, I don't think I could wish for it to go any worse for you.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, you say rivals, but like on paper alone. Yeah, there's no
yeah,
rivalry this year, I'm afraid. You and Paddy are
big
right.
picture.
Gives me something to
Uh,
aim for. I chase down Paddy Meister.
yeah, he's killing it. He's passed us both out this week, and my game week not so much better than yours, Seamus. 36 points, a game week rank of 8 million, and another big fat red arrow has seen me double my rank. Not that I put too much weight in it, but it is what it is. For the audio listeners, the backline was Sanchez, Saliba, Cancelo, Nico Williams with an assist, and Trent, and then middle of the field, Luis Diaz, Martinelli, Salah, and Kulusevski annoyingly benched, but that was coming. And then Jesus and Haaland up top. So yeah, Captain Haaland, big old 9 pointer. I'll take that on a week of utter dross. I believe his 9 pointer and Nico Williams assist. That was the extent of my game week. So I did not fare much better for you, Seamus. But as the saying goes, good week to have a bad week.
Maybe I'll take your word for it. It's all bad
Well, the
weeks for me
average is
so
only
far.
40. Yeah, that's true. But the average is only 45 points this week. So I mean, if you're 10 points off the average, it's like,
Yeah.
it's
What
not
am
it's
I?
not a deal breaker.
I'm 315 points overall, so I'm averaging 53 points a game week so far. But I think I've only broken 60 points once the season, so it's bad. That average needs to be an average of like in the 60s anyway. I should, if I'm on 360 points, that extra 45, 50 points is significant. I'd still be miles off you, like, and stuff like that. I don't know what I'm behind you now. I must be 90 points or something behind you already. Just crazy after 6 weeks.
Yeah, not enough. Not enough. That's what I say.
Yeah, that's a long season.
Exactly.
I'm going to try and stick to a bit of a strategy. And like I said, I actually haven't been listening to any pods. I actually haven't been looking at any analytics. So it's probably just
That
bearing out
might
the.
explain a lot,
That's
Seamus.
what I mean. It's probably bearing out the point that like if I'm not looking at the analytics as much, then it's I'm not cheating, so to speak. I think the
It's not
stat that I
cheating.
no the stat that I always think and I consider it fucking cheating to be honest is expected points.
Oh,
These things are just
really?
these things just go like, oh, these are their expected points this week. It's like, oh, so like just don't
But
don't work it out yourself from looking at average touches in the box the last few weeks, shots in the box.
are you
Uh,
having a go at algorithms?
oh yeah, no, we discussed this already. You know how
We
I feel
did.
about
We did.
algos. Yeah, I don't like
Yeah.
algos. I do like looking at the stats, but even at that, like I haven't got the time. I haven't got time to be looking at it. So I'm just kind of going with my gut, playing with my gut this year. It's kind of what I'm doing, and it's
Yeah.
going terribly.
I can respect that. But have you been watching a lot of football? Like you haven't been watching analytics, but what about matches wise, eye test wise?
Some live matches, yeah. I've seen most of the United games and a few other games. I've seen Liverpool enough times to know that they're not playing, they're not firing on all cylinders. There's something wrong in that team. I've seen
Relegation material.
they're
Easy.
doing terrible. Yeah, I've seen
Yeah.
Arsenal a few times. I've seen City a few times. So I've seen a lot of these teams. I haven't seen the likes of I haven't seen the likes of Crystal Palace too many times, or Aston Villa too many times, apart from the odd game here and there. But
Okay.
yeah, it's mostly. But I'm watching all the action afterwards and stuff like that, and looking at some match stats.
You mentioned you watched United matches, and like that kind of leads me on to the next talking point. And can we now start to look at Man United assets again? I mean, 4 wins on the trot just put Arsenal to the sword.
Mm-hmm.
Good value, as in like a lot of considering how shit they've been for the last couple of years, it's not a shock that there's plenty of value amongst the squad. From 4.5, 4.5 defenders to 6.5 midfielders playing up top. You anything turning your head towards United?
Yeah, yeah, and it's that value aspect you mentioned that is the real reason why. I mean, if they were still 8 million, if Rashford was 8 million, 8.5, 9 million, stuff like that. If this, Anthony came in, he was 9 million. These would be players I'd be kind of like ignoring.
Mm-hmm.
Bruno was taking a big price drop this year compared to what he was. We know what he can be. He still seems, has he dropped yet? Is he still 10 or is he like down to 9.9 or anything like that? No, I'm not even sure of his exact price.
Bruno's 9.8.
9.8. I'm not surprised, but yeah, that's great value if he gets back to where he was. But I think the real value is going to be in the likes of Rashford for 6.5, or is he 6.6? No, he was 6.4. He went back up to 6.5. The
I think he was down to
defenders,
6.3 if I'm not mistaken, but he's
oh
back to 6.5 now. Yeah.
yeah, or the likes of Martinez, or one of these guys, Varane or something like that. Even maybe the Gea. There's great value there if they've got their act together. But it's not going to be that straightforward. 4 wins in a row, confidence is back. That tells me, they're due a defeat soon. So, or
What better than Crystal Palace at the
yeah, well,
weekend?
Crystal Palace are tricky. So, I could see that being 1-1 or something like that, and people getting pissy again and then trying to dump their United assets. But I think there's definitely room for maneuver. I wouldn't be tripling up on United, but I definitely would be. I'm definitely considering on my wildcard this week Rashford. It's the one that's interesting me.
Yeah, I'm the same. I mentioned that I have Kulu in my team, and I think I probably should have went with my gut and just had him in for that game week 1. But I decided to stick it out a bit longer, and I think he's picked up 1 assist since then. But I think rotation is going to start kicking in a bit more now. The European football's back, and Richarlison seems to be making a bit of an impact. So he's going to lose some minutes, and I'm happy to put that money elsewhere. And yeah, Rashford is taking my fancy. I think like game week 7, Crystal Palace away. I'm with you. That could be a tight one. Crystal Palace, their XGC. Yes, I've learned what these things mean now. But their XGC is not amazing. It's just like 1.2 or 1.3 or something like that. So I mean,
Yeah.
It's not. They're not like a rock solid defense. It's mainly the game week 8, that home match against Leeds. I can see goals in that.
Yeah, yeah. Leeds seem to be pretty good this year as well. They don't seem to be too
But
bad.
they're
No, they
but
were
they're
bad.
leaking goals still. Like they're still
Yeah,
conceding.
yeah, they were bad against Brentford. I only saw the highlights of that game today, just like shortly before we came on, and they did look pretty bad there. But maybe you can put that down to Brentford being good. I do think I do always think, especially when Bielsa was there, that's a team to target for
Yeah,
goals, and I don't think it's changed too much. I think
I agree.
they had to be tight at the end of last season, so they were. But now I think they're playing with a bit more freedom. So yeah, they may just have those lapses, and there could be goals there. And yeah, I don't think it's a bad idea to target that fixture. Um,
What do you make of while we're talking about United? What do you make of the new signing Anthony? Endears himself to the United faithful in his debut, and 7.5 million price wise.
Good
You
price.
think?
Yeah,
Yeah,
good price. Same as Sancho. If he can prove his worth, he was pretty impressive in his game. He was kind of more of a YouTube kind of reel, like of kind of highlights. He wasn't involved in the game completely, but that's going to happen when you're a winger. When you're out there, you're going to get the ball, sometimes look good, and then you're going to go through large spells where you're not involved too much. So, yeah, watch the space. I wouldn't go straight in him now. Um, I would be more interested in Sancho if he wasn't, taken off every fucking like 64 minutes or something like that. He always seems to be the first person taken
yeah.
off. Well, Alanga,
60,
but
67, 67, 66 in the last 3 matches for Sancho.
yeah, why? Like I remember he took him off in the Leicester game, um, and he kept Rashford on. And Rashford, by far, to me, was way worse. Like Sancho's looking good when I see him playing, and he's just like taking off. But he does, yeah. Again, he's a winger as well. He's not always in games, but look, it's
I
looking
don't
good for
think
Rashford
Sancho
though.
runs in behind too much either, though, does he? Isn't he like the kind of guy that cuts in?
Yeah, could be that, but I just still don't really understand why he's the fall guy. But we'll see.
Yeah.
He's
Hey,
he's getting back to his
if
best.
they're yeah, and if they're winning, I mean, I'm not going to fault a winning strategy.
Hmm.
But yeah, I'm with you. I think United, their fixtures are pretty decent in the next couple. As I said, they got Crystal Palace away, Leeds at home, and then obviously a toughie away to City. But then Everton and Newcastle. I mean, Crystal Palace, Leeds, Everton, Newcastle. 4 of the next 5. I'll take that. If you were looking to invest, and maybe kind of spread some funds elsewhere from like an 8 million midfielder or something. But before we move on to mini leagues and the usual stuff, one more talking point that I can think of, and it's floating around the place. It always does this time of year, and it'll happen probably again before the season is out. But Salah, no Salah, Mo Salah. That's a big talking point, and I mean, we're probably gonna just lead this straight into your wildcard, but actually, yeah, we will fucking lead it right into your wildcard now. You've got no Salah. Talk to
No,
me.
not at the time. I mean, part of the reason I don't have him is that there was a chance he might drop, and I'm on my wild card, so I'm just trying to ride these price changes and stuff. So if he does drop and I decide I want him, I can get him at 12.9 maybe. Um,
True.
so that was kind of the reason why. Yeah, I'll just get rid of him. I won't risk it. He didn't look in danger of rising anyway. Also, just like Wolves is like Liverpool have not looked good this season. Apart from that Bournemouth game aside, they just haven't looked too good. They were very lucky against Newcastle to get that winner.
They were.
Salah, got the assist for that second goal as well. It was a bit lucky there, kind of bounced on his head.
What a
Um,
swing! What a swing of points there.
yeah,
What was that? What was that like? A 7 pointer or 5 pointer? Doubled for those with captains. It was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh yeah,
So yeah, they've been kind of just getting through it. Like if you take that out, they drew with Fulham at home. Um, so Wolves at home, like Wolves are bad. Wolves have forget what kept 3 clean sheets out of 6. We know what
yeah.
Wolves kind of do, or what they can do, and just Liverpool are definitely not firing on all cylinders. Now it just could click like that. But as it stands, we got to wait to see in the Champions League how they do. They're surely going to be kind of prioritizing doing well this week in the Champions League. Can they turn it around against Wolves, who'll be preparing all week to stop them? in an away trip. Who knows? But I've decided that this fixture is not a game. I'm not going to captain him in this week anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, if I'm not going to captain him, and then they're playing Chelsea away, tough game potentially. Chelsea a bit hard to figure out at the minute. Brighton at home, that's another hard game. That's Brighton. They're just like very good this season. Arsenal away and City at home. That's probably their toughest run this side. So I was like, if I'm going to go without him, it's kind of now. The plan had been to wait and do a wild card in game week 6 or game week 8. I decided to pull it this week because my team is just absolutely. I didn't like how my team looked for game week 7 at all. So yeah, with it in mind that I can make a couple of transfers in game week 8 or one transfer in game week 8 if I want to change it around. So yeah, I've decided I've gone for De Bruyne, but I could still go with Salah if I want to by just making one or like find an extra million for that position. But there's going to be a premium midfield in there, and I think it's going to be De Bruyne.
I get you. I mean, like I obviously, I'm not wildcarding, and Salah's going to stay in the team. If I wasn't, if you're not wildcarding, I don't know why you'd be put off of that Wolves fixture.
No,
But with that in mind, like with the wildcard in hand, should I say? Yeah, it's. I think you're right. I think it's probably the best time. Will it probably be? It's arguably going to be the best time all season. Obviously, we don't know where it ends. Fixture wise doubles and stuff. But in terms of being able to avoid that Chelsea away, Arsenal away, and City match in the next 5, and then as you said, Brighton at home, that's going to be a tough one. Brighton are going great guns this year, and yeah, the Wolves, are tight enough at back. I mean, it is a very easy kind of jump off, and then be prepared to go back in a couple of weeks if you wanted. Do you know that kind of way?
yeah, I think the Brighton at home game in game week 9 is
Yeah.
like apart from the City game at home, it's probably the hardest almost of all those. Even though on the fixture ticker it shows that the Chelsea and Arsenal game are harder, I think Brighton are going to make it much more difficult for them than Chelsea and Arsenal will. So yeah,
Yeah, I
I,
think I think home factor is playing in a lot more. Especially since stadiums have filled up again.
that's what it was. But as I said, like it seemed to make not much of a difference against Fulham, and like same against Newcastle. Yeah, they were better than Newcastle for a good part of it, but they weren't that much better than them that they deserved to necessarily win it. If that had just finished 1-1, like it almost did, that would be 2 draws at home.
Yeah,
And
true.
I fancy Brighton much better than I'd fancy Newcastle or Fulham. So, yeah, could be a hard one. I think it will. I think, yeah, Wolves. I still expect them to beat Wolves, but and like I've sold Alexander, or sorry, Trent. I've kept Trent. I sold Robertson this week, so it's definitely going to be a clean sheet because I've just
Yeah.
sold one of my 2 defenders. But it's not about that. I'm wildcarding because I need to redistribute funds around the place. I've also decided which keeper I want. So yeah, Lloris was kind of keeper I went in for early doors while I was making decisions. I should just went with my gut and went for Pope. One of the reasons I didn't go for Pope at the start was I was thinking I might want Trippier, and I didn't start with Trippier. I should just went back to Pope. Um, but
Why
yeah,
don't you Why don't you call out your wildcard team actually?
yeah. So it's Pope and goals, like I mentioned. Keep Ward as my sub keeper. He was there already. Keep Cancelo, James, and Arnold. Um, Alexander Arnold. Keep those 3. I don't want to completely just abandon big at the back. I want to keep the same principles, but I'm not going 5 premium. That was never going to happen anyway. I just need to
You went
decide
6 fucking premiums almost because you
with
had the,
Lloris.
the heavy keeper.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
exactly.
But yeah, the plan had been I was like might go from Lloris and Walker to Ederson and Perisic at some stage.
Yeah.
But Perisic's minutes are just they're too whatever, so I can't do it. And I didn't know where I want to go with Walker, and Walker was he had been doing well.
He tipped away for you.
Walker was doing fine for the first 4 game weeks, but now 2 back-to-back kind of like 2 pointers, 1 pointers is and he's got a knock. Makes it feel like, and playing Spurs this week makes it feel like, yeah, it's time to sell.
And he
So,
could have put one on a plate for Haaland, and he didn't.
oh, I didn't even see that. Yeah, and
Yeah.
the team that are doing well defensively, who I was looking at, is Brighton. So I was looking at them in pre-season, and yeah, I decided not to go with them.
You
Uh,
give me shit about Sanchez.
just because of my own experience of what Sanchez was like, they kind of have all the underlying numbers, and defensively they're pretty sound, but they kind of give up a chance. They always seem to give up a chance. But no, they seem to be quite good at the minute. So I think it's time to go. Yeah, I'm happy to invest in Brighton now. So Dunk is in,
You've
and
got his own goal out of the way, so you don't need to worry about
yeah,
that.
that's true. So I got Dunk in, and my wife's breaking down the door here. I got Neco Williams in, just as a cheap um, player
Is
there,
he still 4 mil?
4.1. Um,
Ah, suck it.
I know he's hardly worth it now. So I got him for 4.1. Keep Martinelli. He's just too good value. I've used the money to go two forwards now because I need to just respond as much as I wanted to play with just one striker. It's kind of leaving me with like two fodder forwards, and I kind of want to have more of a bench, which is why I've gone Williams. So he's one of my bench players now. Kept Archer, so it's Jesus and Haaland, but Jesus could very well be Mitrovic, could be Tony. Then in midfield, my one heavy hitter is De Bruyne at the minute, subject to change. And as I said, alongside Martinelli, then Andreas isn't going anywhere. So I have Gross and I have an 8 million slot. I've gone for Madison. Um,
Yeah, I mean, like, I can't really fault the rest of your team. It's all pretty standard. Gross. I mean, yeah, he's doing well. I'm not convinced on it, but maybe I'm in denial. But the one that it is standing out to me more so than the no Salah is Madison. Home match against Villa. That's nice. You're not gonna, be put off by that, but you're not worried about Leicester. I know Madison's been kind of tipping away
oh,
anyway, but
yeah, I'm very worried about Leicester. But there's no point me just kind of wildcarding into what
the
the
template.
template team is. I kind of have to have people in it now. And I say this like it's quite templated. That's why I might get rid of Jesus because everyone has Jesus, everyone has Haaland. And like Gross is, I don't know what he's percent. Okay, he's 27% owned. He's quite highly owned. But when I've looked at him in matches and highlights of Brighton's games, he is playing like just off the strikers. Like he's playing behind the strikers. He is like playing them in there. They do seem to be getting goals. Like they got five against Leicester. Okay, they're getting some goals. Five against Leicester was really the main one, but he's getting chances. He's looking attacking. I mean, he's almost out of position. He's not quite out of position, but when he was playing wing back, I wasn't interested in him. But now he's
Yeah.
playing, one of the two slots behind the forwards. I'm kind of like, okay, well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So
Well, I mean,
he
he's
could
tipping away.
he could become McAllister. He could become Trossard, something like that. Because he's cheap. He's only 6 million.
I think
Um,
Gross has to be there ahead of McAllister. I mean, McAllister's been way deeper.
Yeah, but he's on penalties, and
Yeah.
he's good. He's pretty good. So yeah, that's why I've gone for Gross anyway. I haven't gone for
Scored.
McAllister, so I'm going to side with you in this. So yeah, Madison is the one you asked me about, and yeah, he had a great season last year. Leicester playing kind of terrible, no confidence in him whatsoever. But like I think Aston Villa are terrible, so he could get some joy there. He's always able to get a free kick or something. And then after the Spurs game, which would be difficult, he's got Forest at home, Bournemouth away, Crystal Palace at home, Leeds at home. That's three home games out of four in that run, and a away game to Bournemouth. So yeah, maybe I won't go for him, and maybe I'll wait till game week 9. But that's like seems like a transfer waiting to happen. So maybe I'll just get him in and stick with
Yeah.
him because I don't think he's going to get dropped. Do you know what I mean? I've got him for 7.9.
No, I think when he's fit, he plays. I mean,
Yeah,
he's one of Leicester's
I
best
could go for Diaz.
players.
Could go for Diaz there, considering I only have one Liverpool player now, so that might still happen. Um, yeah, I don't want it to be too template. Like part of me, if you look at my team there, so it's got like double Brighton, triple City, double Arsenal, and it's kind of moving towards the existing template, which is probably not what you want to do with your wildcard. You want to move towards tomorrow's points, not yesterday's points. So I am conscious of that.
There's a poster. Put that in a t-shirt.
Yeah,
You want to move towards tomorrow's points, not
but
yesterday's points.
I definitely want to keep Cancelo, James, and Arnold because I know as soon as I sell those, James will get a 15 pointer. Cancelo will score a 12 pointer next week against Spurs, things like that. And I do have a lot of faith in those guys. So I want to go with those guys, keep that. Haaland has to be in there. And I need a premium midfielder. So yeah. And then the rest are going to be cheapies. So yeah. What do you think? What do you think of this as a wild card? Do you think it's bad?
No, I don't think it's bad. I think like we were chatting off air, and I said it to you like unless I think you put in your team or someone put in someone else's team, and it looked pretty similar to this. It was like a template-y kind of look, and I went, the only way I can justify that is if you were so far away from that in the first place that you want to kind of maybe refresh it and start building from there. And I think that's what you're doing. You're kind of going, look, I think I made some mistakes, and now I want to kind of get to where I need to be, and then I can kind of make a couple of fringe decisions, because I don't think there's so much of the season left. I don't think you need to worry about mad swords, as they call them. I mean, you don't have to kind of unbalance the team, and I think there's a couple of shouts in there. I mean, it's really just the Madison shout, I think, and no Salah. I mean, that's the big one as well. Is like you're going to Bruyne or another premium mid if you wanted. I think as it stands, it's a good wildcard team. But I think if De Bruyne did become Salah all of a sudden, then Madison becomes maybe your Rashford to save some money, and all of a sudden your team is just everyone else's team. And then but I can't really criticize any of the picks. I think they're all pretty solid. I actually quite like the Madison one, especially because you're getting in there ahead of that kind of game week 9 fixture swing for Leicester. But my only thing would be, how long does Rodgers stay there? Are they Are they gonna just? Is Stevie G gonna pull it out of the bag this week and get Brendan Rodgers sacked?
But there's things I could do, like instead of Madison and Jesus, right? I could go Rashford and Vardy or something like that. That's an option.
You're not gonna be touching Vardy because I think he's not even starting. Isn't that supposed to be? He didn't even start against.
No, he didn't. I think I'll just check his minutes. But I think that was because he'd played like the previous 2 games, and like he's like.
But wasn't he getting subbed off on 60 minutes as well? I don't know. I'm worried about Vardy.
Yeah, so he's played 90. He's played 69, 64, 90, 86. So when he played game week 4 and 5 in quick turnaround, like on whatever it was, he was never going to play Thursday, Sunday. So like as soon as that played, it was like, okay, he's going to play Daka or Iheanacho. He actually played both. Now, they both scored, so that would be a reason not to get him in, because maybe he gives them an extended run. But I could see a situation where
Rodgers, they both scored in a 5-2 loss though. So.
Yeah, I could see a situation. Well, it wasn't their fault. I could see a situation where Rodgers gets the sack, and Vardy comes back in under the new manager, starts banging goals for fun.
Under Sean Dyche.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, it's weird because I just wasn't expecting to have as good a season last year. Kind of waiting for him to regress and just not get as many goals. But he got 15 goals last year, which is the same as what he got the year before.
Yeah, but didn't he get like 10 of those in the first like fucking 8 game weeks or something like that? Didn't he just like start off on fire?
Yeah, he did get like 8 goals in his first like 10 or 12 game weeks or something like that. He started off well, but he still kind of tipped away. He kind of got it going again in the second half. He only played 1,800 minutes last season, so that's what, 20 games worth.
Yeah, he was out quite a bit.
He was getting goals when he got minutes. It's so he could still do it. But yeah, no, this is just outside the box thinking if I wanted to try and think of where the next points are going to come from rather than the current points. But I think it has to be Madison out of the 2 of them at the minute.
Yeah, 100%. And I think, thumbs up on the no Salah. I feel a lot more confident of Salah going in against Wolves now that you've gotten rid of him.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, brilliant. That's going to ease that for me.
Yeah, it would be par for the course. I'll get rid of someone because they're being rubbish and then they'll just turn it on against them. But, what's he got? He's got 10, 2, 8, 3, 10. The real reason I'll be selling him is if I have him and Haaland, it's going to be Captain Haaland pretty much most weeks, even against Spurs this week.
Are you captain? I mean, we'll get into the captaincy now. Like, are you captain in Haaland this week against Spurs?
Yeah.
If your team stayed like that?
Yeah, I think so. That's my initial thoughts anyway. I'm not going to captain Gross anyway. Not going to captain Madison, and I'm not going to captain.
Gross is 100% double digit in this week. Yeah, I'm not captaining him.
I might captain Alexander-Arnold, but who knows?
I think Jesus isn't a bad shout this week. I mean, I'm obviously just talking the big game now because I'm on a podcast and not putting my actual armband on it and clicking confirm for the week. But I'm looking at my team and I'm going, Jesus home to Everton. Is this going to be... I honestly think Arsenal are going to come out of the blocks on fire against Everton. And I think Everton can be got at, and Arsenal are playing fucking well. It's like, I mean, I just think that United results kind of maybe shadows it a little bit, but they're playing fucking good football, and I'll be impressed if Everton can get something off them at the weekend. That's all. That's all I'll say on that.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I can see Haaland laying down a marker this
Another
week.
fucking hat trick.
Yeah, I know okay. Maybe not a hat trick like he's done in these games, but I can imagine him just bossing the game, winning the game by himself against Spurs, and like not even Spurs can stop him, and then just the platitudes raining upon him.
Spurs are beating City this week.
Yeah,
Spurs are
I
beating.
think so.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I don't know.
I think they'll sit back, smash him on the counter, and yeah, it will be. I'm looking forward to it. I guess, like, again, we're probably sick of it at this stage, but everything is prefaced on European football this week. So, I mean, if Haaland gets a big old rest against whoever the fuck City are playing, then you're gonna feel a lot more comfortable. But if he plays like a full old 90 minutes and City kind of have a kind of a bit of a dogfight during the week, then yeah, I definitely fancy Spurs a little bit. I think they're playing. I just like Conte. I just like his attitude. I like his sass. He's a sassy manager. But yeah, no, that's a solid wild card, man. We will move on because we're running at 3/4 an hour already. Fuck, time's flying. Let's hit the mini league. We've no stats this week because our league stats man Podrick has taken the week off to watch Game of Thrones, I'm sure. But I do have the league here. And after last week's debacle, it's probably no harm to give Paddy a bit of a breather because we got some complaints. He made an absolute tit of the league rankings, and I don't know.
Really?
Yeah, he did. He made an absolute tit of it. I don't know what he was looking at. But we have this week's top 10. In first place, he is a friend of the show and has been on an episode or two. That's FPL Renegades Andrew. He is 56 points this week, 422. Great start to the season for him. And I would like once again to apologise for Paddy leaving him out of the top 10 last week. It was out of my control, Drew. There wasn't much I could do about it. But you're up there now. You've made a statement. Second position, Drunken Pirates, Brian says, 416. Third place, Blue in Exile, Denny Watkins, 415 points. Fourth place, Tiger James, that's James Stevens, 415 as well. Fifth place, Quinners Winners, Ian Quinn, another friend of the show, 413 points. Sixth position, the Invincibles, Emil Siedlich. Sixth position, FIFA 22, FIFA 2021. That is easy. We say it every week, but I do get a chuckle out of it. He's killing it, 410. Eighth position, Excalibur FC. Ninth, Las Vegas FC. And 10th, the Tito Suarez Paddy Pa, 405 points. So, yeah, there's some fucking decent scores in the top 10 of the FPL Hangover mini league. And, yeah, I'm coming to get you. I've fallen away this last couple of weeks, but, I'm not too devastated, Seamus.
Yeah, no, it's a good deal. I can't believe Paddy left off like the number one player last week, and I actually thought he was using Playmaker for those stats because that's what he was using last week. Until I tried to use Playmaker myself and realized it was showing last season's table. Yeah. And then when I tried to click on the league, it just quit the app. So there's obviously that's not working. And that might be well.
It is no more, Seamus. It is no more.
But yeah, now I'm kind of thinking. The more I'm looking at this, as you were calling it out, because I looked at Drew's team. I was like, oh goddamn, he's actually like, I'm kind of moving quite close to what his team actually is with this wildcard. I hadn't looked at his team beforehand, because part of the reason he's done so well, he's top 20k. He's got triple. He's been on triple Brighton for a while. Yeah, he's been on the Dunk and Sanchez in goals, and he had Gross there last few weeks as well. So that's a nice way to do it. So yeah.
And Tony didn't do him any fucking harm this week.
Yeah, bollocks. I actually consider. Then I was looking at it, I was like, if I got rid of Madison, because Madison is more expensive than Tony, I could get Tony in, and I could just have instead of having Madison Archer, I could have Tony and like a 5 million player there. So now that's kind of put that in my head. I was like, oh, I could have.
Maybe you should get Bailey back or buy. 4.7, Seamus, great value.
Yeah, he's come down. So I'm gonna. That's kind of put a thought in my head now. Is like I could have it all, but then I feel like. That's just.
I could have it all.
Yeah, I could have kind of big at the back and big up front, but
let's wait and see what Diego Costa comes in. price wise.
Fuck no. No, I'm not buying a fucking Wolves striker. You get mad? No.
Oh man, I'm telling you, in 6 weeks you're gonna be going. I need to get in that Wolves striker. He's an
Maybe,
apps. Yeah.
maybe Wolves strikers and
That's
must-haves
the
do
only
not
thing they're
sound.
missing. They're
Yeah, that
they're
doesn't sound
creating the
like.
chances. They're creating the chances. They just need someone up there to finish them.
Yeah, they are a whole lot more attacking than they had previously. Like it was the same last season when they started off. What's the name? Bruno Lage came in. He started playing attacking football. Traore couldn't hit a barn door, and they like it didn't score in their first 3 games, and then they just went, no, we're just going to turtle back here and
Back to five.
do what Nuno had us doing, and yeah, they were rubbish. So yeah, they look better this year. I'm just wondering, are they going to be defensively sound against Liverpool? Because if they just go gung ho, maybe Salah, getting rid of Salah is a bad option. So
We'll see. We'll see. Before we move away from the mini league, if you would like to join and be with a chance of winning an FPL Hangover hip flask, then the mini league code should be on your screens. And for the audio listeners, the code is PK3DFT. That's PK3DFT. And yeah, that's going to be open for a few more weeks. But yeah, do jump in and share in the fun and the festivities. Okay, so that's the mini league done. Seamus, one more thing. Puck fellas, how you getting on? How you getting on with them?
we didn't do one last week, Gameweek 6, did we?
We were missing because we obviously didn't do
Midweek.
the midweek game, but we won't let that slow us down.
Okay.
I mean, we'll go with the week previous, and you did win that one. You had Alvarez, and for those who the uninitiated, puck fellas are our punts of the week, or long shots, or puck fellas. Anyone less than 5% owned, and it's just a 1 week thing. Whoever has the most amount of points at the end of the season between myself, Paddy, and Seamus will get to nominate a charity for the other two suckers to donate to. And if you would like to throw in any of your guesses, just lob them into the chat below, or send them on to us on Twitter, whatever you want to do. Get involved. But yeah, puck fellas, 5%. Who's your pick this week, Seamus?
This week, I am going to go for Patrick Bamford. I was looking at the Leeds players, settled on him. He played 45 minutes the game week just gone. They have a game against Nottingham Forest at home this week. I think there could be goals in there for them. And it was between him, Sinisterra, and Aronson, who I've kind of liked the look out of. So my gut was to go Aronson, but then I was like, you know what? Bamford's probably not going to be under 5% owned for too long if he comes back and does what we think he can do. So I'm going to back him this week to get a couple of goals. So
0.5% owned, so real fucking low ownership there. 7.3 million. Yeah, I mean, decent value. You think if he starts banging them in, you're going to go 7.5 million leads, or is there too much value in the midfield? I mean, Aronson 5.5. Harrison 6 or something.
Yeah. It depends, because it depends on your slot there. Say, for example, Jesus is got tough fixtures coming up in a couple of game weeks, and he just hasn't done anything for a few weeks. Yeah. Then that's kind of a sideways move you can kind of go to, to get that Leeds. Leeds are good for goals. Bamford has done it in the past, so that could be a place to kind of go for, whereas you mightn't have the space in your midfield. So yeah, I wouldn't rule either out. But this week, definitely Bamford for me. How about you? Do you have any temptation with the Leeds guys, or you've gone elsewhere?
Yeah, I have, just to keep it interesting for the listeners. But I am tempted by the Leeds guys, in the sense that, like, Rashford has turned my head a bit for the likes of Kulusevski, but I was also thinking about the likes of an Aronson or a Sinisterra. Like, I feel like that's just kind of recency bias a little bit, in the sense that I haven't seen a lot of him. In a kind of way, at least in the matches I watched, it was probably the ones where he didn't play a whole lot. But he's got 2 goals, a goal in the last 2 matches, and 6.5. I'm still looking at Aronson though. I think 5.5 is great value. Only the 1 goal and 1 assist, but again, super fucking cheap. So Leeds wise, I don't think you're off, but I've gone with a different team, and I've gone with Southampton. I think their performances are kind of maybe going under the radar a little bit. They're looking, the results aren't showing, it, but I think they're playing pretty decent. And Shea Adams is my pick this week. I think against who are they playing this week? Brentford. I know Brentford are a solid side, but I feel like this could have goals in it. I don't know when to trust Brentford. They come out some weeks look like absolute world beaters. This week, what did they beat Leicester 5-2? That was this week, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
No, Leeds. They beat Leeds 5-2.
Leeds 5-2, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, like, absolute great result, and then I feel like they can go out and lose 2-0 to Southampton next week. And I'm putting my money on Southampton to beat them. And Shea Adams, he's my puck fodder. 1% owned, 6.4 million. He's already found the back of the net twice, and I reckon he notches another one this week. We have had Paddy send his in, and I believe he's currently in the lead for puck fadas, but he's gone another cheeky pick. He loves his top four, fucking just about making the rules. He's gone with United's new man. We spoke about him already, Anthony, 7.5. I think he's only. That's Scott McTominay. That's not him. No one's picking that. Anthony, 4% owned, so just gets in there. Jesus Christ, he's 4% owned already. Fucking hell. 7.5 million. That's Paddy's pick. I think decent shout. I think there's, why not?
Yeah.
Continue the momentum. Get his first away goal. Who knows?
Yeah.
But that's the picks.
That might be a bad shout for that. So 400,000 owners, approximately. There's 10 million players in the game, so. A lot of transfers in already after one pretty good performance.
Yeah, I think it's like 100,000 transfers in the first game week. So I don't know which way it works, but yeah, I mean, you know yourself. FPL is a fickle bunch. They're all leaning towards it now. He did kiss the badge, so that's worth an extra couple of points.
Yes.
But I guess we can leave it there. Unless you have anything else you'd like to talk about, James. Anything to get off your chest?
I don't. I'll be coming to you. I mean, what I'll just say here is my team is going to certainly change throughout the week. Part of me thinks the whole overthinking I did with, like, if I just went with my kind of basic bitch kind of game week 1 team, I probably, up a lot closer to you anyway, because it would have had Haaland and I wouldn't have been overthinking. But yeah, I don't know whether I should just abandon my instinct to try and have a bit of fun and make moves like I've done there by going, I'm just going to do a potentially dangerous switch by getting rid of this heavy hitter for another heavy hitter that might be lesser owned. Obviously, the problem there is if that highly owned player smashes it and you don't have him and you've sold him, you look like a twat. But yeah, I don't know whether to keep doing that kind of play or just settle down and just play like ABC FPL, which I know is the kind of really the better play.
It depends on how much you're letting your overall rank get you. Do you know? I mean, like,
Haven't looked at it. This is the thing. I think that's why I'm kind of a bit. I've been doing okay because I haven't really been looking at my rank so much this season. So I was surprised to see I'm at 5 million. I'm like, wow, 5 million. Maybe I should be looking at my rank.
No, I definitely don't think you need to overthink the rank. I think there's just so much left in the season, and I think you just have to have a bit of fucking fun with it, man. Whatever, that's what I ask myself, like, what would annoy me more? Do you know, like, when I'm stuck between decisions, like, would I rather see this blow up in my face and be happy, or happier, or kind of it's okay and I'm not feeling anything from it. I've just gone template, but who am I to question the great Seamus Mac? We leave it there. Seamus, you have all the dirty details?
Oh, I'm not even sure if I do. I guess if you want to follow me, I'm for any reason, I'm at FPL Drunk on Twitter. The podcast is at FPL Hangover. Of course, we have the YouTube channel as well. If you're watching this, make sure you like and subscribe to this. On all the good podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts, all the usual ones. Spotify, I guess, is the main one. Is it Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all these good stuff. Email, fplhangover@gmail.com. Have I forgotten anything?
No, you hit the nail on the head. I will leave it there, folks. Seamus, you will be joining us next week because it is our 150th episode.
Oh,
and we're gonna yes, it's a bit of a milestone. So we'll have to do something special. Who knows? There might even be a live stream in the works. But I will leave ye sleep on it. Enjoy the European football this week. Enjoy game week 7. Most importantly, God bless.